Welcome. I'm Wayne Hilborn, and I'm here to share truths that are totally overlooked in our time. Forget calorie counting and gym sessions. The key to weight loss lies in water deficit, not calorie deficit. Water deficit, not calorie deficit. And when it comes to the mystery of life after death, fear not, for your consciousness is outside of your brain, existing as simultaneous events, retrocausality that unsmart still deem memories. These two truths are unheard of. Nobody else teaches this, but that's just the beginning. Stay tuned, open-minded listeners, as I unveil more secrets on this channel where miracles are simply too easy.
Hello, I'm Wayne Hilborn, and I'm going to try and revive the Aristotle teleological approach to evolution. And I'm going to try and demonstrate why Charles Darwin was wrong all those years. So, basically what we are is memory. Every memory that makes you you is actually simultaneous to 1,000,000,001 years from tomorrow, but it's also simultaneous to yesterday and every memory. So if you have, your memory is actually redundant if everything is simultaneous to now. And when I say things like time isn't linear or time is simultaneous, I might have some of you, your eyes might glaze over and go, well, I have a watch and it shows that time goes forward and stuff like that. But on a quantum level, like there's a lot of, like, does the future change the past? Like there's a lot of quantum experiments out there, like delayed choice quantum eraser, breaks time, retrocausality, PBS, how the quantum eraser rewrites time, retrocausality, all this. This is all John Archibald Wheeler's genius. He came up with the delayed choice quantum eraser, which I think still stands according to Nature.com. There's people out there saying that they've debunked it, but they're just grandstanding because they see that time is they feel linear. But you have no reason to even think that you're real, as opposed to living the dream. Like you could be in a dream right now, and you just don't know it. So, like, okay, if you had a dream last night and you had a dream mom, and your dream mom said, "Oh yeah, you're a real boy," and you pinched yourself in that dream and you felt really real in that dream, but then you woke up, then it just shows that you weren't really real. So that's one way to think of it. And so the toaster has a rudimentary consciousness. It is aware that it is simultaneously elsewhere. It knows that it's simultaneously at the factory being made. So due to this aspect of simultaneous time, it allows that anything can be conscious. So if your toaster is aware that it's at the factory, then that's it. Then everything could be that level of consciousness. And so that even means the thoughts themselves, every thought that comes into our minds, which isn't in here, it's out there. Our minds are a resonance that's a personified resonance. So you're not just culmination of the notes. You couldn't identify what you are until you look at the whole structure. But your personification that can never be erased. You can't. Your memory, your linear memories will always be what makes you you. And even if you moved all the way back to the source, you would still have a linear time memory of everything that made you up until that point, in a teleological standpoint. And I think Aristotle probably borrowed these ideas from ancient civilizations through Egypt, because Aristotle may not have traveled to Egypt, but he was certainly getting information from some of his students. I believe had traveled to Egypt and stuff like that. So the teleological idea is that our future, whatever we evolve into in 1,000 years, we're at a logical halfway point to that whatever that is, because we're moving in that direction in an evolutionary standpoint, which is based on what we will be in the end. Not so much now, because the expectations that they have in the end are as strong as our expectations are now, that we're not going to be cavemen or mice. So like, and we were animals. Like I said, we were the plants to learn how to breathe. We were crabs to get opposable thumbs. We worked our way up. Like we had to be we had to evolve naturally, each one of us. So okay, so you had to be a plant to learn how to breathe. Your toaster, in the form it's in now, will have to become a plant to learn how to breathe. Like, you can't just go from being a toaster to being a human, because it doesn't know all that stuff. Like, if you want opposable thumbs, you got to be a crab. Like, if you want to, you have to be a fish to waggle your butt to move. Like, you have to, like, you don't just become bipedal all at once. You have to have 4 legs before you have 2. You have to learn. And so it's up to us to teach the pets to be more human-like, and we have to really rethink some of the ways that we treat animals, because they're all just basically young souls, like we were. So the more personified something is, the more it gets away from the group consciousness. So if I were to draw a mustache on a ketchup bottle and call it Fred, then I move that ketchup bottle away from the group consciousness, where it's getting petitioned only by a certain number of thoughts. Like, it's sitting there on the shelf getting ready for shipping. It's part of a group consciousness of all the ketchup bottles. But then, like, because I personified it in a literary metaphor, then I've personified it and called him Fred. And I'm basically birthing a soul, because reincarnation, if reincarnation, we lived lifetime to lifetime, then reincarnation would be real, and that would dictate that our parents didn't birth our souls. Our souls had to be like much older. So how did our souls become born? And I'm telling you, it's through personification. Personification is blessed be to our ancestors, but personification is the what separates Fred from the ketchup bottle consciousness. And the toaster is the same way. Toaster, when it reaches an I am awareness, it can start its own linear history, and it associates with other different thought forms. When it's a plant, it associates with thought forms so that they can learn how to breathe. And then when it wants to evolve into a fishy, then it becomes a fishy, and it's already got like the breathing apparatus sort of figured out, so it's not so complicated when it does all that. And it's like, and we have to do all this cooperation from lifetime to lifetime, and that's what makes us grow. And so there it is. I know it's been discarded, but the Aristotle teleological standpoint is accurate. And I'm going a little bit deeper than he did by describing as all thoughts as outside of us, and the closer, the further you are from the all, like the more personified you go, and the more you help people in that, the more less personified you go. So it's very simple. We're meant to help each other. So it's just, we're all part of all. So like when you help someone, imagine you're helping them for like they're you, like in a way. And also, it's just nice to be nice. So I don't understand some of the stuff that goes on in the world today, but I don't. Anyways, so evolution is just this. Is just you growing through all these different stages yourself, and you've reached this point, and your toaster is going to go on, and it's going to be like a higher life form. Like, it's going to be like its highest possible self one day. Your toaster. Your toaster is going to be God simultaneous to yesterday. Like, eventually you're going to be your highest possible self. Like, maybe we share the planet with first time humans and stuff like that. But I mean, like, eventually they're going to grow up and they're going to be like, they're going to move on to like their next whatever they are. And eventually even if you're not in human form, you'll be your highest possible self someday. And when you are that someday, something, then you have to like think about that as you evolved into God yesterday, but with hindsight in 2020. So now, if you want to bring in like the religions, then they're all kind of accurate, because Christianity. Okay, well, you need good to have bad and bad to have good. You need broccoli to enjoy ice cream. You can't just have bad all the time, or you can't have a heaven or a hell, because you can't have good all the time or bad all the time. And Jesus would be as much God as you, because you'd be a mortal changeling if what I'm saying is true, and it is. So you're an immortal changeling. Lifetime to lifetime, you grow and you change and whatever, you adapt. But every memory that makes you seems to carry with us from lifetime to lifetime. So you are that karma of whatever carries us and brings us together and stuff like that. You are all that. But you're more than that, because you're like a resonance that can shed that also. You can like move on from being one form or another. Like, you don't have to stay a fish. You can decide to move on, and you can discard the thought forms that made you a fish. Maybe they can help you in their format in some physical realms that you create from your imagination in the future, or whatever. Like, you might want to, like, if you're just a resonance being floating around, you wouldn't need a chair, but you might want to have a chair just for old time's sake or something, so you could like manifest things and stuff. Like, you could bring back old thought forms, but you don't need to believe anything I say. You just need to go and manifest, and then analyze that the past can change. Because like, if you pull in a parking spot and you manifest parking space, like how did you change the past without affecting people like 20 minutes ago? How did that parking spot get empty just then? Or like things like, if the song came on the radio like right after you started singing it, but like it was on a playlist that was made like months ago or whatever. So how do things happen? Like it's, you need to understand that the past can change, and that's not something that's really easy for people to accept. You have to, and I gave you like I told you the quantum mechanics is suggesting that the past can change, and I say that what happens on the micro level is happening on the macro level, but it explains everything. It explains it all. So this is all like I'm the one that wrote the book Theory of Everything Mind, and it's on my YouTube channel. You can listen to it yourself. But I mean, like, I've nailed down what evolution is, because lifetime to lifetime we grow, and so we were all plants, we were all fish, and we got to start treating those animals better, because we were them. And where we go from here is based on our karma, which is our thoughts that we carry with us. So the best thing in life you could do is free yourself from nightmares, and try and lose the Napoleon paintings, because if you have a Napoleon painting behind your desk, then you can drag that thought form into your next incarnation. Like, just, you can bring a thought of war just by bringing a Napoleon painting with you, and you don't want to bring war into your next incarnation if you don't want to. Like, you have to sort of, everything that you attach to is what you expect. And I don't know. Okay, so I think I've covered it all. Evolution, though, is definitely more Aristotle than anybody else. Like I said, I think I've gone into a lot more detail than what he could, and I've explained it in reference to simultaneous time, or the past changing. Time isn't linear. Time isn't linear. That's the secret to everything I teach. Is time isn't linear. I teach lots of stuff that people should know. Like worry is the root of all evil in a mental universe. Like daydreaming is the root of all good, and worry is the root of all evil. Like that's like as simple as positive and negative thinking get, right? It's like worry is visualizing bad crap with emotion, and so like people think that it's nice to worry, but they cause some bad stuff. This world could be a utopia if we all visualize good all the time, if we all stop the worry so much. So we need to get back into that sort of mindset, and we need to understand this sort of stuff that I'm teaching, because it's all common sense and it's all simple. And like I said, you don't need to believe anything I say, because those who manifest and see that the past can change can like do the math. And memory is redundant if it's inside of our brain, because everything is simultaneous. So it makes much more sense, and it's logical that the memories are actually the real things happening right now. We just tuning into them. But that's going to be too much for some people, I know. But I almost wish they wouldn't watch the videos, because skeptics can hurt the people that know. And I know I'm putting myself out there for that, but worry is teaching a form of worry. Like there's sort of teaching this stuff is a form of worry that I've sort of thought, well, why would somebody teach somebody? Like, why wouldn't they just like keep it quiet and whatever? Because you're just worrying about them if you teach them stuff. But everywhere seems to be teaching. So like even in the afterlife, the gap realm is all a school. Earth Air is a school. You organize the lessons every night while you sleep. For yourself, you teach yourself lessons. This is all like organized. There's so much structure in the what we consider the afterlife or whatever, the simultaneous life or whatever. But in a linear way, you've spent more time there than you have here. But you're here for something, so you have to figure out what you are here for. What lessons were you here for? What lessons are you here for? And that's how simple it is. That's all there is to it. So consciousness equals simultaneous events equals memory. But there is no memory in our heads. Memories are all simultaneous events out there. This leaves open the room for a toaster to have a consciousness, because a toaster void of brain can be aware, memory equals consciousness, that is simultaneously elsewhere. And expectations, faith runs the caboodle, cause all quantum collapses, even into the perceived past. So expectations cause quantum collapse even into the perceived past, but that means that there's no reverse entropy required for the past to change. Like if somebody were to like spill juice, the juice doesn't have to like jump out of the carpet and go back into the jug. It's like we collapse time to like before the juice was even like, maybe even before the juice was, while it was still growing on the tree. We don't know how long ago it reversed the time. It whatever the most expectations fit it in. We're living in a utopia, really. If we could stop all the worrying and stuff like that. People say, oh yeah, okay, well I'm sort of on the side with religions here. Some people say, oh, why did God starve all those children or whatever? It's because the moms worry that their kids are going to starve. And if you're a parent and you're worrying that your kid's going to starve, you might as well just starve them yourself, because like it's the worry that does it. Worry is a form of manifestation, and everything's a manifestation. You're daydreaming or worrying with every act. You can't even have a desire without having a worry attached to it. So like if you really want to go deep, it's like we sin just by being, and that was in ancient Egypt. The only sin was ingratitude, which is sort of the same as worry. Like ingratitude and worry. Gratitude is a hack to love. Worry is sort of like the anti whatever. Worry is the only sin in life, is to worry. And I know we have to worry to be logical or whatever, but not really. We could lessen it. We don't need to worry so much. We can we can distract ourselves from worry. Like always, and gratitude's a hack for love. So if you find yourself worrying, just start saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Even if something bad happened, just say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because that's the way to be in a mental universe. You can't be any other way. And like if someone came to me and if I saw 2 policemen pull up in a driveway or something, coming to bring me bad news or something, then the first thing I do is start saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and hopefully maybe they were just warning me about outage or something down the block. But I mean, you lessen things by going into gratitude. If you go into alpha and gratitude like right away for most things, then you could like save a life or whatever, because people are in their own little bubbles of dying or whatever, and like your expectations is part of that from your angle, and everything, the universe energy follows all thoughts. So it's a combined dream technically. So we have what we think are our thoughts, and they have what they think are their thoughts, and we all form reality together collectively. But it goes a little bit deeper and stuff like that. But evolution is definitely you following a logical progression from lifetime to lifetime, growing. But you don't just start off as human. You have to start off as you have to start off little, and you have to like learn all these things. You have to be a plant. You have to be a pet. You have to do all these things. Like a pet's like a human in training. Like everyone knows that, every pet owner knows that, but I mean like they're on their way to humanhood. So that's how evolution works and how it always will work and stuff like that. I think they must have known it before, because Aristotle's teleological standpoint seems pretty accurate. And like I said, it's like the end of what we're going to evolve into on Earth that made for the first caveman. Like it was that retrocausal. Like everything's retrocausal, and like all the wars and everything that we go through now, that's all to like build whatever we're going to become. So the teleological standpoint has the merit. So I didn't invent that, but I'm sort of reviving it, and I'm adding to it, because I'm the only person that I think teaches that the thoughts are outside of us and as simultaneous actual events, and that everything is conscious based on that. So good luck. So mote it be. Blessed be. This is how evolution works. Everybody evolves from scratch, and we all evolve to what we are in a psychic gestalt. Blessed be.
And that's a wrap, folks. I hope I broadened your horizons today. As a modern Canadian magician, I've got a knack for tuning into the universe and understanding the intricacies of reality. From healing to life coaching and fitness instruction, I'm your go-to guy for a holistic approach to well-being. If today's topic struck a chord with you, send some positive vibes out in the universe. And while I don't ask for personal donations, your generosity could help elevate the quality of my future content and publications. Whether through Patreon, direct support, or local collaborations, your contributions are greatly appreciated. Remember, folks, it's all about that water deficit. Dry fasting holds the key to shedding those pesky pounds, and I'm here to debunk the myth that exercise is the be-all and end-all for our weight loss. Forget about calorie counting. It's all about tapping into that 7% water in our fat cells and saying goodbye to them forever. And let's not forget the other nugget of wisdom I bring to the table. The nature of memory is a series of simultaneous events. No brain required to store those precious moments, folks. You'll be conscious forever. If you're hungry for more of what I have to offer, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for future updates. Wishing blessings upon you all, and remember, in a universe governed by the mind, worry is the only true evil. Stay positive, stay blessed, and keep spreading the love.